Fuck Wendy's. First, just know I was a manager at this store. So I texted my GM asking why she scheduled me to close the store 5 p.m. 12 a.m. and then open the store 5:30 a.m. 3 p.m. the very next day. That's less than potentially 5 hours of sleep. I told her that it was fucked up. Quite literally. After no response, I got a call on my phone, didn't answer, and the store phone from her older son telling me that if I cuss at his mother again he was going to come to the store and beat my ass. That's not a threat, it's a promise. I left my keys in the office and walked out of the restaurant at that moment. How should I handle this situation? I want her to be fired even though I don't work there anymore as of today.
This is Alabama BTW. Update: I've seen many of you comment about just the clopen aspect. That isn't the issue. I've worked them before. Which I should have stated I'm sorry. The issue is that she consistently does this and changes my schedule days after she posts the schedule and doesn't ask me if that works for me. Our store makes over $25,000 weekly, college town, and we have 11 workers there, 4 of them managers. I am one of them. No one wants to work there because of her piss-poor attitude. She talks people any kind of way but gets defensive when you stand up for yourself. The overall issue is more that I've put up with her shit for over 2 years, and the moment I stand up for myself is when she wants to have her son that has no affiliation with Wendy's and threaten me.
She gave out my personal phone number and name to someone that doesn't work there to threaten me. That is against all Wendy's policies. The conversation with her son was over the store phone. I have 2 witnesses, which were other employees on the shift with me, because I put it on speaker when I first answered the phone. Where I live, they have to give a minimum amount of hours between shifts. Is there a similar law in Alabama?
Send the text to the smartass Wendy's Twitter guy and add the @ for rival food places. Let's see how he can turn this into a punchline.
I work at a state human rights commission. That's a hostile workplace. I don't know what state you live in, but assume they receive HUD money. For that to be true, they must have an human rights office. My 80% red state tried to do away with ours last year, and HUD told them in no uncertain terms that our office must exist in order for them to get federal HUD dollar. I would reach out and ask to speak with an EEO investigator. Free of charge, and they will put you in front of a judge if they find probable cause. Edit: I do know what state you live in because you said LOL. https://dhr.alabama.gov/directory/equal-employment-civil-rights/. These are the folks I would contact were I in your shoes.
Edit 2. Thanks for the karma and awards, guys. Don't listen to anyone telling you have no case. Even if the EEO office doesn't find probable cause. What are you out? Some phone calls and paperwork? Worth it. And thanks for naming and shaming Op. The judge in our office is retiring after today. His parting message was, keep up the fight. I pass it along to all of you. Keep fighting. They will never stop. So we mustn't either. Edit 3. At the suggestion of a lawyer in my DMs. Also, you may want to mention in your comment that he has a statute of limitations of 180 days or 300 days. Depending on whether his state has its own EEOC equivalent. To file a charge of racial discrimination and retaliation via constructive discharge. Edit IV. Hopefully final. Just want to clarify that I am not guaranteeing any outcome. Hostile work environment, in my opinion, but only the folks at the Alabama EEO Compliance Office can determine that. It may very well be that they do not have jurisdiction. Or they do and there is no probable cause. But I promise they will give you sound advice. Hope this helps. Edit V. It's Edit IV.
Report the son to Wendy's corporate for threatening assault and report the mother for nepotism.
Oh yes, the Wendy days. I was crazy back then. I'd close, get drunk, and open while drunk. I remember the GM being arrested for embezzlement. Crazy days. Report to management above her. Apply for unemployment. And if you feel froggy, file a police report. The police report will likely go nowhere, but it's something you can present to upper management and angle for your job back or her to be punished. Your call on that one. If you have his threat, promise in text. The only reason I would get up the following morning is to report that to the district manager. I moved to Ohio from NYC at 33. I applied everywhere, but the only thing I could get was a manager trainee position at Wendy's. My first food and retail position. This was back in 2003, so they had this huge ledger all the day's totals had to be entered into at the end of the day. My first solo shift as manager. At 100 am. I told the 4 crew members to take off and worked on this ledger until 2 am. When I went to the dining room, all 4 crew members were still there, saying they were waiting for me to drive them home. Remember, I just moved from NYC. Never drove before I moved to Ohio. And this was before GPS. So I had to drive these 4 people all around Columbus, Ohio to get them home. Of course I got lost and didn't get home until 6 am. When I saw the store manager, Scott, I shared this with him. And how no one ever mentioned this to me. And he said, "Well, how else do you get people to work that late?" I replied I didn't know, but I was not driving anyone ever again. I quit the moment I got my real job. Still there 19 years later. In my exit interview, I told the district manager all of the above and more. Regarding the driving home, he said that's just the way it is. I replied then provide mileage. Which of course they will never do. Wendy's sucks. Still can't eat there. A company that uses slave labor to pick tomatoes treats their in-store employees similarly? Colored me shocked. Call the police and the manager's manager and corporate. It's very easy. You were threatened by your manager's son for asking a work-related question.
Sir, this a Wendy's.
Who is her boss? Is it a franchise or corporate store? If it's the latter, I would contact her boss and HR. Otherwise, contact the franchisee. I'm assuming midnight is when the location closes and not when your duties end. But if it winds up being an 8-hour shift and there would be less than 8 hours between shifts, this may be a violation of FLSA, at the very least. I can say that a company I worked for in Florida years ago paid a shift differential to hourly employees that had to pull close, open shifts to avoid it being a violation.
Put the burgers in the freezer. Ha 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 ha, that'll F up their slogan.
Ah, Wendy's. I remember those days. We had a manager that would bring weed and alcohol, and after the doors closed and last customer left, we'd all go into the walk-in fridge, drink a beer, get stoned, and he didn't give a shit if you were underage. Clarify something for me. Does the son work at Wendy's? Either way, it was a threat of assault, and our good buddies the pigs might have some fun interviewing him. Call a labor attorney. Human RESSOURRCESSSS. She gave out your personal info. 100% illegal. I work in HR and I thought it would be funny to text one of our coworkers. Non-manager. A funny Christmas meme, but I didn't do that. Because that would require me searching their number and texting them from my own phone, and that felt wrong, and this is someone I talk to every day at work that wouldn't have minded. But it's all about procedures and policies. Leave no room for that was inappropriate. I thought about this specific employee and remembered. He has a new baby and he's married, and even though it's an innocent Christmas meme, I don't need to do that to his wife for no reason. If she were uncomfortable with it, she could report me. If I ever think, can I do that? I don't. It's just a no from HR. Dog. Tell the owners and provide evidence. God fuck Wendy's. My roomie is being completely fucked by them RN.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.